Hi, kitty cats. I am Amethyst Herrick, your hostess for the Purplepodcast, a bi-weekly discussion from your friends down at the Purplepaw clan, exploring the intersection of identity and gender, sexuality and intimacy, and community and spirituality. This content right here is being brought to you by supporters of the Purplepaw clan. If you are already a supporter, let me first thank you for your ongoing support. If you've been a supporter for a long time, you know very well that subscribers not only receive all new content directly to their email inboxes as soon as we hit publish, but you're also able to interact with every contributor directly, which includes me, and who wouldn't want to interact with me, huh? So, if you would like to support shows just like this one, as well as the other podcasts, videos, and written articles by our contributors, I hope you'll consider subscribing using those links you'll find down there in the show notes. Well, I am very, very honored to be joined by my guest today, Gretchen Schoser. Hi, Gretchen. How are you?
Hi, I am fantastic. Thank you.
That's awesome. So good to see you. Gretchen and I have been talking for like the past, 35 minutes. I feel like we should have grown up together, or maybe did, just in different states. And
Yeah.
I don't know, sort of like that. It's a weird thing. So Gretchen, first of all, I want to honor you for this. Gretchen is a suicide attempt survivor. So first of all, I want to honor you for that. Also an award-winning podcaster and tech-savvy entrepreneur. Gretchen hosts a podcast, actually all of your work is about sharing stories that break stigmas. I love how you put that. I think that's beautiful, breaking stigmas. So I want to start off. I always like to do sort of an origin story type thing, and I know that mental health has a tremendous amount of your story. So can you explain like what happened in your life to make you focus directly on mental health?
Yeah, so at the end of 2022, probably the hardest time in my life, even harder than when my mom passed away. I had a lot of shit that just was stuff I couldn't handle. At the time, I was 59 and a half. I'm a true extrovert, a true empath. And a lot of stuff happened. Like I got offered an early retirement from a career that I loved. My wife got shingles. She was down for 8 weeks. Oof. I hit and killed a deer. I got catfished. I had a really close friend. Yeah, I know.
What's catfished mean? I don't even...
So catfishing is when like a famous actor or actress reaches out to you through social media. You build a rapport. It's not truly them.
Yeah.
You go down a fucking rabbit hole. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So then, a really good friend of ours passed away. My father-in-law passed away 2 days before Thanksgiving. You throw in a little bit of seasonal depression, some holiday depression. Right. At my generation, we were told to, like, shove it down and just keep showing up. And I did. Like, nobody around me, not my wife, not my friends, not my family, not my coworkers. Nobody knew how depressed I was. Nobody.
Yeah.
And I couldn't put a voice to what was going on inside of me because I'd never experienced anything like that before. So a couple of weeks before Christmas, we were in New York City, the worst possible trip ever. You can go back and listen to our podcast, Season 1, Episode 3. I talk about that whole trip. Like, it was totally uncharacteristic for me. And because my friends and my family and my wife all knew me as, like, this happy-go-lucky person, they didn't notice it as something completely uncharacteristic for me.
Yeah, sure.
So on Christmas Day, I attempted suicide because I couldn't find my voice. I couldn't find my footing. I didn't know what was going on. And that call to 988 actually saved my life. I was within 20 minutes of being done. And so, after that happened, I, went down and talked to my wife. We talked for over 3 hours. She had no idea. She was pissed because I hadn't told her what was going on. But when you don't understand what's going on inside your own body, it's hard to put words to it.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, like I reached out to social media to let people know what was going on. I am well liked. I'm life of the
Wow.
party. Everybody wants to hang out with Gretchen. And when I did that, I had over 200 people reach out and say thank you, because now they didn't feel so terrified and alone in their own
Right.
journey.
Right.
And so that's how I got into my mental health advocacy, because every time we share our stories, we unlock somebody else's prison so that they don't feel so alone and terrified in their own journey. And I was terrified. For months, I had put on this incredible mask of everything was fine. And then I, would show up to work and I'd be like just doing my thing. But on the inside, all I wanted to do was die. I was completely done.
Yeah.
And, so my co-host and I, who was my manager at the time, I use that term like super, super loosely, because we had,
Okay.
because I had retired like in April. So that was in January, end of Christmas, like end of December into January. And then in March or April, I retired. So we would call each other every morning, like an hour before work, and we would laugh about shit you should never, ever, ever laugh about.
Gosh. Okay.
I know we were going to be driving the bus to hell. But what it did is, like, those calls in the morning would like release our cortisol and like up our serotonin and our endorphins,
Yeah.
and it would change the trajectory of the day. So no matter how crappy the day was, we could go back and reflect on that conversation we have, and we would just laugh. And laughter is such an incredible healer. And so my two healers were sharing my story and laughing, and that's how I approach my mental health advocacy. I always want to make sure that people are checking in on themselves, taking care of themselves. Self-love and self-care may sound like buzzwords, but like if you are not doing that, I promise you will end up just like I did Christmas Day with a handful of pills waiting to end your life.
Yeah. I agree with you. Thank you for that story, first of all.
You're welcome.
That can't be easy to tell that whole story. You had mentioned self-love and self-care, and a lot of the work that you do now, in particular, has to do, because you also brought up, you put it out on social media what happened, and 200 people responded to your message. Is it self-love and self-care when community ends up being such a huge part of our mental health, like laughing with your manager?
Yes, community is huge, right? And community can be like one or two people, or it could be 500 people.
Yeah. Yes.
Community is very important, because if they are in tune with what's going on with their friend group or their community group, it's one conversation that could stop somebody from taking their life. And for me, what was hard for my friends and my wife and my family is like they couldn't see it because I was so good at putting that mask up. This is my PSA. If you are an extrovert, do not put up your mask, because the only person you end up hurting is yourself. Ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah. For what it's worth, I think of myself more as an introvert. I mean, in the strict sense of the word, that I tend to recharge much more when I don't have other people around me, so to read a book or something like that. I was going to use my example to say, typically what I do when I start to feel bad, I withdraw, and so nobody can know if I'm feeling. Well, nobody knows that I'm feeling bad because I'm not there for them to go, you seem a little off. You okay? Like, what do you recommend there? Go ahead. Let me stop.
Well, so that's such a good question. I'm so glad you asked that. If you have friends that are extroverts, right? Ask us questions that we actually have to answer. Don't ask me, hey, how's your day going? Because I'm going to tell you what that standard response was. I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
Ask us questions that we actually have to answer. Like, how is your mental health state today? Like, What have you done for self-love and self-care?
Oh my gosh.
Have
yeah.
you been out in nature? You seem a little down. What can I do to help? That one question could actually save somebody's life.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious too, because I've loved to write in a journal. I could ask myself these same questions, right?
Yeah.
Because often, I mean, it's easy to mask. I mean, you're transgender. You learn to mask really well. You learn to dissociate really well. And sometimes I'll be writing in my journal and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel like hell. I had no idea. I mean, it's even important for us to ask ourselves these questions, right? I mean,
yes, so important. So, I have the first draft unedited version of my book, and in the interludes I say that, in each chapter, make sure you're checking in on yourself. Do that self-assessment. Our community can't always help us. We actually need to help ourselves. And be intentional about it. Like, if you feel like crap, you feel like crap. But, the other thing that a community can do is be an ear, right? We need you to listen with your ears and not with your mouth. There's a great Simon Sinek video out there. It's called 8 Minutes. We all have 8 minutes for somebody. If somebody reaches out, like maybe we just want to vent. Maybe we have like all this stuff swirling around inside of our heads. Give us that 8 minutes, but listen with your ears, not with your mouth, because a lot of times we don't need your, you just need to suck it up, or, oh, you're being dumb. Okay, I don't need to hear that because I already feel like crap to begin with. I just need to like air it out. So that, and that works for both introverts and extroverts. Listen with your ears.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna specialize just a little bit. Is that the word? Who knows? Let me actually ask the question, and you'll figure out what I'm trying to say. Because you and I are both members of the queer community,
yes.
Right? We have the tendency, all you have to do is look around. I mean, I don't think I have to convince you on a lot here, but, society as a whole, this way this Western society works is we always have fingers pointing at us from birth, right? Because if you act in a way that you make your parents go, ooh, you're a little weird, we learn these patterns. Where I'm going with this is to say that in the queer community, we have a huge tendency to believe that we deserve some of the pain that we get. Certainly we get that from the religious, right? That we deserve any pain that we get, including going to hell and burning for eternity, I guess. Let's see where that's going to get me. But so anyway, I don't really have a question. I think it's really just to say, like, it's worse for us in the queer community as well, because we internalize this idea that we should feel bad, that we shouldn't be happy, because we're wrong in some way, we're broken in some way, we're dirty in some way. Stop me, please.
No, but I do see where you're coming from, and for me, like, I have been out for over 50 years.
Oh gosh.
And I can say that angst came. It's more like 45 years. A lot of that angst happened when I was a kid, and then just growing up, trying to figure out who the fuck I was, and like, why don't I like boys? Why do I like girls? Wow, this is weird. And then as I got older, that kind of lessened up for me. And then I went to go work for an amazing company, and it truly was like a unicorn, where they accepted us for who we were, what we were. We were able to show up every day authentically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I moved to upstate New York. Okay, I live in a really teeny tiny farming community in upstate New York, and I am surrounded by people that are bigoted,
possibly
maybe
critical of your lifestyle.
Very critical. Very critical.
Okay.
Even though like the state of New York has a lot of protections in place for the for the queer community, which I'm very thankful for because I'd moved from South Florida to upstate New York. Okay, talk about two contrasts.
Yeah.
But what was great is that about 20 minutes from our house, we live from Ithaca. And Ithaca is a very open, grounded community. And I knew I was safe. But I also know that I can't just like run around and like hang out my gay flag, right? Like if I want to be super lesbian one day, that is so not going to happen, okay?
Right.
And in the current administration, it took us a couple of weeks to hang up our pride flag because, you know, here I am trying to get back into that better headspace, you know, really taking care of my mental health. And like, I don't like fucking drama, okay? So I don't want the current president's supporters who live across the street giving me any crap. But I also realized that, you know what, I have a voice, and I'm going to use that voice. And if you want to come and hunt me down, have at it, because I am 4'11", and I will take you out at the knees, okay? Like, I got tuck and roll all taken care of.
Nice. I sort of pictured you as pretty dang tall. I don't know. I picture like if I came to you, I'd put my arm around your shoulder like this and be like, "Hey, babe."
No, I'd be like hugging your thigh. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what happens when you get a little older too, right? Each year I shrink a little bit. I started.
Yes.
So right when I turned 60, you know, I dropped an inch. I was like 4'11".
Okay.
Hit 61. I'm like 4'10" now. Dude, by the time I'm 80, I'm going to be like 2 feet tall.
Right.
And these big ass hips. And like, I won't even look like a lesbian anymore. I'd be like, who are you? Oh, you're a garden gnome. But, you know, I've gotten to a point in my life that I'm still trying to find that community, right? A community of like, people that are really focused on mental health, a community, a queer community. And I was really, really, really fortunate last year. I attended the Lesbians Who Tech conference.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I had never been.
Okay.
And
really?
Yeah, I went for the first time. And for the first time in my life, I felt seen, I felt heard, I heard validated. Yeah. And I knew that this community needs to do what I did, is take care of our mental health, because every day we have shit thrown at us that we are not equipped to handle.
Right.
And a lot of us, I could say it for myself, we crawl back into that hole, throw up that mask, and just move on in our days. But it is not healthy, because what that does is it contributes to our burnout. It contributes to our like self-loathing, our negative self-talk. You know what? We are badass, all right? We've had to fight battles that, you know, the street community will never have to fight.
Right. That's so true. You brought up work, and you said you started work for a great company that lets you bring your full authenticity. I want to ask a question that or bring your authentic self to work. I'm sorry, I think is how you put it. And I'm curious, to a certain extent, like is there a point where that becomes bad? Where, because like how much authenticity should you or could you bring to work?
We had people showing up to work as their true selves, right? We had a lot of trans people. We had, you know, lesbians, we had gay men. I could show up in a gay flag and nobody would have blinked an eye.
Okay.
We were really, really fortunate. Unfortunately, that company got a hostile takeover in 2020.
Yeah.
And that kind of led a little bit into my depression, especially when I, got my early retirement. I was really like trying to hold out until I was 60. But shit, you want to pay me to leave? Yeah, let's do it. Sign me up.
It seems hard to believe. Yeah, it seems hard to pass up. But so I see what you're. Now you're talking about a whole company that's capable of allowing that. Well, I don't want to say allowing, embracing, because I think that's more the point.
Yeah,
that you embrace each other's authenticity. Go ahead.
It was for anybody that has heard of Ultimate Software, they were the kingpins of HR payroll and software companies. And our chief people officer, Viv Mazza, was fantastic. Like, she embraced every single one of us. She held us close to her heart. She was like our mama bear, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
she made sure that we felt included in everything. And she made sure her managers and her directors and team leads, we all created each other as equals. And so we had that community. And once the company was acquired, we felt that community being ripped away from us because other companies. So, talk about a gut punch, because now I didn't feel safe to come to work as my authentic self. So, then it's hard for me to say I would crawl back into the closet. Number one, because I don't think I'm going to fit anymore. Okay. It was a long time ago, when we came out. Going back in is not going to work out so much. But, my close group of friends allowed me to show up authentically every day.
Okay.
And what was funny is when we moved up here from South Florida to upstate New York is, okay, up here, everybody wears flannel, all right? It is like country lesbian, 2020. Okay, I get it wrong a lot, okay? I admit, like, my gaydar will go off and I'll be like, oh, no, nope, not a lesbian. Because, like, getting into the car with a man and, like, kissing on him, I'm like, oh. Gaydar bad.
Yeah, sure.
I am not getting a toaster oven for this outing. So, but you have to like question yourself and just you have to be safe, right? Like I've never thought at any other point in my life up until now that being out and being a lesbian was going to be so difficult. It's terrifying. And I can't imagine how hard and terrifying it is for my trans friends because this administration sucks. And and that's a nice word because I have a whole like list of words I could use, but it's really hard. And I want people to know that you are loved, you are wanted, you are needed. And no matter what the administration is saying about us, don't change. Because if we bow down to what they want us to be, then we lose ourselves. Don't lose a piece of yourself because we have a bully. Like, be proud. Like, we have fought some crappy battles, but be proud of where we came from, like in the 70s, to where we are now. Like, I love all of you. I can actually say I love myself. I'm proud of myself for being my authentic self. And, now that I work for myself, like, I don't have to impress anybody else, right? I can come to work with, like, lesbian, like, haircut and, like, lesbian shirt, and I wear a bra. Like, I can do all those things.
Perfect, yes.
But, I can show up as me. And when I show up as somebody different to, like, my friends or my family or my, people that I work with now, my customers, they're like, what is wrong? Because if I start going back inside myself and hiding my true me, that's not you. My authentic self, I have a sailor's mouth, but I have a heart of gold. And I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I just want to make sure that people are taking care of themselves because, life is hard.
It's not getting a whole lot easier.
No.
There was a video I made a while back. I think it was just right after the election, because in 2024, because somebody reached out, a few people reached out, and were like, "Wow, what the hell are we gonna do?" And I made a video because almost everybody I knew who was considering coming out was like, "Well, not now. Now I'm not going to say I'm gay. Now I'm not going to say I'm a lesbian. Now I'm not going to try to transition." And so I did a video. Here's my point. I told you I'd get to it, but my point was that I did a video where I said the best time to come out's going to be now. Because, oh my gosh, we need these stories in our lives to see that we're not going to be, how did you say, bowed down? We're not going to bow down to this bully. we need to show exactly what you're talking about. Get that lesbian haircut, put on your lesbian shirt. What was the other one? Come to work in a pride flag.
Yeah, come to work in a pride flag. Show your authentic self. Because at the end of the day, we're going to win, whether they like it or not. We're going to show up.
You know it. Yeah.
We're going to, dude, like, have you been to Pride? We show up. Like, even when the corporate sponsors bow out, we still show up. Yeah. And we show up in ways that most straight people don't understand. Like, we show up in community. And, you know, I'm hoping over the next, 2 or 3 years, we get that community back. We had when I was, in the 80s. There was a lot of community then.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's kind of waned off. But I see community coming back, and it is political, and it's loud. And we are showing up. Show up for yourself. Every day is your authentic self. Get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and be like, I'm fucking proud of myself. You know what?
I love it.
You have to do that, because if we don't, and we start listening to those other voices that are coming at us from left and right and center, telling us how much we suck and how the world's a better place without us and how we are an abomination, we are none of that.
Ooh, abomination.
Yeah, we are none of that. So don't believe the words coming out of a bully's mouth. Believe what you see in your heart. Find that love, that love for you. And if you're older like I am, and you see somebody struggling to come out, it could be a kid, it could be an adult, compassion. Compassion and kindness go so far, because you have zero idea what's going on with somebody. So maybe don't be a dick. Show some compassion.
That's a thought.
Like, don't be a jerk. Like, there's so much going on right now. And the kids today, and I mean kids like from 12 up, that are coming out are so concerned about what's going to happen. Like, do I come out? Do I stay in? And not only that, they are getting persecuted by their families. Right? Yes. And that's why, like, right now, the most important phone line that we can get behind and support and help the bully change his mind is the Trevor Hotline. They are aiming to take that away in October of this year.
Oh,
so
gosh.
if you have the funds, please consider contributing to that organization.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
Between the ages of 14 and 24, kids, even parents, can contact this phone number and get them the resources that they need. Let's start saving lives and not attributing to the fact that somebody is sitting in their bedroom thinking about taking their life because they're too afraid to come out to their parents, their friends, or their community.
Yeah. Yep. How about the assertion, as long as you're talking about parents, or family anyway, what about the assertion that they're just doing this for our own good?
No.
I mean, parents, right? They go, listen, it's going to be hard for you if you're gay. I'm just doing this for your own good.
Yeah, okay, listen. You can't stop genetics. You can't. No. Like, no matter how hard you try. Like, you can't stop it. And so by saying that to your child is something that they are going to carry for the rest of their lives. And it's hurtful.
Yes.
Incredibly
oh my gosh,
hurtful.
So true. Yes.
It makes it so much harder to truly identify as who you are. And you can't show up the way that you want to. So you start doing like the negative self-talk. We talk to ourselves the way that we angry text somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true.
We talk so badly to ourselves. Right? Turn that around. Would you say what you're saying to yourself to somebody else? If not, stop. Because all it does is hurt you. Yeah. So the same thing goes for parents. If your child is trying to come out to you as gay, lesbian, trans, be supportive. If you can't be supportive, find a program that can help them. There's PFLAG, there's Gleason, there's the Trevor Project. Yeah. There are so many amazing resources out there that you can use so you don't have to be a jerk to your kids.
Yeah. That's really what it is, too. It's just somebody being a jerk to their kids.
Yeah.
Like, what?
How does it affect them? It doesn't.
It doesn't. And ultimately what you do is alienate your own children.
Yes.
Because that's something you really want to, do you really want to do that? Do you really want to alienate your children so that on your deathbed you go, gosh, why am I all alone? I did that Franklin Covey thing. I'm on my deathbed. I expected people to be around me to tell me what they thought of me. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Those Franklin Covey planner
things? Yeah, because
things?
now we're aging ourselves. It's okay. It's all good.
Yes, but no, it's fine. But you're going to end up with nobody around you on your deathbed to say, you know what, you were a great father. You were a great whatever. You were a great employee. Like your manager's going to show up at your deathbed.
Yeah.
I mean, it might happen, but I'm sorry, I went on a...
No, but for me, I was super fortunate. My parents were amazing. I'm one of those lucky kids,
great.
Right?
Yes.
I am truly one of those lucky kids because I had friends of mine that were coming out the same time I did, and their parents were like, "You're out."
Oh gosh.
Whereas, my mom and dad were like, "Are you loved? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you being careful?"
Yeah.
Because all they wanted to do is make sure that I was comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
They didn't even flinch. Like when I came out to my mom, I took her to a gay bar. And she was looking around. I didn't think she figured out it was a gay bar real quick. But we're sitting at the table and I get my mom a drink, because back in the day in Colorado, drinking age was 18.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm like, Mom, I got something to tell you. And she's like looking at me like deer in the headlights. Well, what is it? Why are we here? We don't come out for drinks. And I'm gay. And she's like, I've known that for years. And I'm like, well, thank you for fucking cluing me in.
Right. Isn't that kind of annoying when you get that? You're like, no, I screwed up my courage for years to do this. And you're just going to blow it off. You should just pretend. Just go, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's
just pretend it. Fake it for a little bit.
She was like, she did. I remember her telling me how proud she was that I did come to her and let her know. And she's like, you will be loved no matter what.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And, we sat and had a couple of drinks, and then I wanted to call and tell my grandma because my grandma and I were super close. And she's like, I've known for years. Okay, listen. If, I don't know, drop a few more breadcrumbs, all right? Because I've been struggling for years to tell you this, because I didn't know what to say or how to say it.
Yeah.
But I was, like I said, I was the fortunate one. But there's so many kids out there and adults now that don't have that kind of support, and that's why community is really important to us, especially now.
Right.
Let's band together.
Yes.
And I get it. It's scary, right? Because, they're making arrests at protests. They're making arrests at parades. They're making arrests for, the stupidest things. You know what? Community doesn't mean you have to be on the street with 10,000 people. Community could be jump on a Zoom meeting with your friends, shoot the shit, Zoom meeting, or it could be let's get to go to our house and have a game night. Let's go watch, Desert Hearts or, one of the... Or let's go watch Bound, okay? What could happen from there? But showing up in that way for your friends that are really struggling means the world to us.
Oh, so true. So true. Do you know, too, there are two friends, my two best friends. Maybe they wouldn't think that was true. Anyway, my two good friends that I had when I came out to them, that I said, look, I'm going to transition gender. They were both like, okay, sure. And I would say our relationships now are much closer, much more honest. They've become, I think we've become better friends. And I know at least part of that is because now I've dropped a mask, right? You mentioned holding a mask up all the time. I think me dropping the mask made a difference, but I also think that them being able to see just being able to see me makes a big difference. I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go with that either, but it's so true. When you show your friends who you are, it feels different. It feels different to them.
And the same goes for your mental health. Show up. Show up as your authentic self. If you're in a shitty, sad, depressed mood, show up that way. Don't put your mask up, because it does. It ends up hurting you, not just mentally but physically. Because now you got all that in your belly, but you haven't spoken the words. And I my aim is to make sure that people don't get to where I got to, because it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
I have one. Now that I talked about my two good friends, I had one more. So now I have a question for you. I have one friend who said, no, this is not you. No, this is not valid. No, I'm not going to accept it. What would be your recommendation?
You know what? You either love me for who I am, or you don't love me at all. Like, we don't need that. We get enough of that from society. We don't need our friends to tell us how we should show up. Okay? Like, that's like a parent telling you that you have to wear a dress and penny loafers to church. The hell I am, okay? I'm going in shorts, and a short sleeve shirt. Yeah. But, if you are a true friend, you will accept us for who we are in our own skin. And if we are changing that, your perception of us, then maybe your perception needs to change too. Right. I cut this guy out of my life, by the way. So yeah, because some friends have a reason and a season, right? And
for sure.
I will say, as I went through my healing journey, I've lost friends because, you know what? Number one, I learned how to put my shields up because I'm an empath. So I'm not everybody's, like, you can't suck your drama into me anymore.
Right.
I had friends that left me because they, maybe they all need to check in on their mental health, right? They didn't like me posting all the time about my mental health. They thought I should be quiet. Okay, I'm not going to be quiet, because here's what happens when we're quiet.
We lose people.
And, the whole mission behind our podcast is to normalize how we talk about mental health. The more we talk about it, the more resources we get out there, the better, because some of the resources that we gave out even 2 years ago are now gone because those websites have been taken down.
Oh, geez, yeah.
We get to change the trajectory of people's lives. We got a call early on in our podcast from somebody that said that because of our podcast, they, number one, called 988, and number two, were in therapy. So we saved a life, Yeah. And so the same thing with your podcast, right? Like, let's talk authentically. Let's save lives, because there's enough being lost now where, people are losing their identity. They're losing their self-worth. They're losing so many things. Life is short, people. Show up every day for yourself. Stand in front of the mirror and be like, you know what? I'm damn proud of who I am. I worked really hard to get here, and fuck everybody else. Literally.
Yeah. Have you always? I mean, it's Pride Month. We're recording this during Pride Month. Have you ever been? How do I want to put this? Have you always been, like, engaged with the Pride, all the Pride stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm like a loud and proud girl. Okay. Like, because that's what? I'm tiny. Okay, you can't really see me. Like, what was it? It was last year. No, it was 2022, the summer of 2022. We went to Pride in New York City. Oh, holy crap. It was so awesome.
I bet. It was probably fabulous.
It was fabulous. Fabulous. Let me tell you, there were so many police officers there, and, like, I felt comfortable. I felt safe.
Wow. Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. I would not feel as safe.
Oh, well.
This year.
No.
But you know what? I celebrate Pride in my own little way.
Good.
put out Pride posts. I, connect with the community. I, help out where I can. I donate where I can.
Yeah.
And I make myself available if people just want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? If you need to vent, you need to air it out with me. Okay, because
Yeah.
you may not have a circle of friends, but one thing that people here in the U.S. and in Canada, if you are in crisis, and it doesn't have to be suicide ideation, it could be anything. Call 988. They are free, they are anonymous, and they will help you get the resources you need. And in my case, give you a voice to what was going on in my head. Without that phone call, I, I, I will tell you, I was within 20 minutes.
It's awful.
It is
I'm
awful,
I'm
awful
glad
place.
you called.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. You triggered a memory in me. Because you said people can reach out to you, and I do the same. Whenever somebody's really pissy to me on like a video, they go, "Ah, you're a horrible person for XY genotype, whatever." That would have been a pretty easy one to dispense with. But when I get like crappy comments, I have said, "Hey, you'll want to reach out to me and talk to me. Let's come and talk to me." So I think this is another really important answer. Or a really important question, because when we do share ourselves with community, we also have to make sure that community doesn't, like, we don't drag community down. And I guess really the question I want to ask is, if somebody does share their mental health struggles with you, like, how do we make sure that that we keep ourselves safe as well?
So,
Did that question make sense?
yeah, it totally does. So,
Okay.
like one thing you can do, be equipped with, right, is the 988 number, right? If you see
Okay.
somebody that is truly struggling and it's somebody that you're trying to help and you're afraid that they may not be able to contact 988 themselves,
Yeah.
you yourself can call 988 and they will give you some resources.
Okay. Oh, good.
Let them air it out. Let them air out what's going on inside their heads. But a lot of times we do not even air out that side of us. We might air
Right.
out like the other little minuscule things that are going on, but never even address like what's truly going on in our mental health. But if you see
Yeah.
somebody that's kind of checking out, right, maybe a little withdrawn, not as smiley as they usually are,
Right.
kind of withdrawing into themselves, not decorating for the holidays. Something's up. Those are some good signs. And if you ask them how they're doing, and every day you answer back, "We're living the dream," we were most likely not living the dream. Okay,
Right.
but it's a simple way to get you all away from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them 8 minutes. Maybe they just have something they want to share with you, but give them 8 minutes. And if it's someplace that you are close enough to like touch them, hold their hand. Let them
Yeah.
know, let them feel that physical presence that somebody really fucking cares. And I have that.
Right.
I had that. My wife is an amazing human. I had that, but I still couldn't find it in me to share with her what was going on because I didn't understand it. And that could be happening with your friends or somebody in your community because they don't teach you mental health 101 anywhere, right? It's something you have to kind of live through, which is a crappy way of living your life. But, be thankful that you have your friends. Be thankful that they're willing to listen to you.
Yeah.
Be thankful that they're not trying to fix you. That's the other thing is, like, if somebody reaches out, don't try and fix them, okay? Like I said, listen with your
Right.
ears, not with your mouth. Okay, like we don't need your opinion of, well, you know what? Just suck it up. You'll be fine.
Right.
You made a mistake. Okay, I don't need to hear that. Okay, I need to You can also start with laughter. Laughter is such an incredible healer. Like if you can share a clip of like a Robin Williams clip with a friend,
Sure.
get them laughing because sometimes when we're laughing is when it unlocks something in our head
Yeah.
that we can actually truly open up as to what's going on. You know your friends, you know your community. Figure out like what makes them tick.
Right.
And if that thing that makes them tick is not ticking right now, go find it. But help your friends because
Ooh.
it's hard. Like we are so hard on ourselves. And you can actually use ChatGPT, right? You can like go on to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I have a friend that's experiencing this. How can I help
Yeah.
them?"
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
most cases, in the States and in Canada, it will tell you to have them contact 988.
Sure. Sure.
And the other thing is like not every therapy doesn't work for everybody. Like person to person therapy. There's 8 billion different kinds of therapy out there. So
Right.
you could do therapy. And if you do go to see a therapist, remember you could speed date your therapist. I did. I had to go through 3 therapists before I found the one that really I was in sync with.
Yeah.
But if you have friends and you want to help somebody, make sure you are protecting your own mental health, right? So learn how to put your shield up because now you
Yeah.
don't want to become like a trauma vampire, right? Or
Right.
you don't want to be
Right.
you don't want to be their blood source. You want to be
Yes.
you want to be there as a friend, but protect yourself. Protect our
Yeah.
community. Protect those people that don't have the community that we may have.
Yeah.
Be supportive. Okay, don't
Be
be
supportive.
okay, and just be kind. Once again, don't be a dick. Okay, there's enough going on right now. Don't be a dick.
Okay. Yeah. So you have your podcast going on. You founded a company. It was a
I
couple of
did.
years ago, I think. It was a couple of years.
No, it was just this year. It was in
Oh,
January
this
of
year.
this year. Yep.
Oh, perfect. Because I know I looked at the website. So tell me how that fits into everything else that you're doing. Because it's a great mission, but I'm not going to bother trying to express it if you are here.
So my company's twofold. I have a technical side of my business, which I do like software implementations and training and system reviews for anybody using UKG's recruiting and onboarding products. I've been,
Okay.
I'm certified in those products. I've been doing it for 16 years now. Now I feel old.
Oof.
And then
Well, yeah.
And then on the wellness side, I took my own mental health advocacy and then everything we've done with the podcast. And I now work with companies to help identify burnout, stress, and making sure that companies during change management are really focusing on employees' mental health because, companies always focus on the future state. It's that during that transition state where everybody is now like checked out. And,
Right.
Developing some courses, writing some ebooks, and just making sure that companies don't make the same mistakes that I saw for 45 years. When I started my company, I did it for 2 reasons. Number one, I was tired of working for the man. All right.
Sure.
But and number two, I wanted to do something for me. So at 61, that's what I did. And, you're never too old to reinvent yourself. Never.
Ooh, I agree with that. You made a quick comment. You said, "Gosh, I feel old." At one point I was talking to like a newer employee. Let me just leave it at that. And they're like, "Oh, what was the first language you did?" And I was like, like the first one I wrote professionally was C++." And the person goes, "Well, I mean, I've heard of C. What's C++?" And I'm like, I'm not that old. I'm not
No.
that old.
No.
I'm like, crap. See, come on. Like, that's not cool. Although, interestingly, the first language I ever really, really did was JavaScript. Sort of funny, 1994. So you had to use Netscape right, to use this. But that was the first thing I did. Anyway, so now when somebody says, "What was your first language?" Now I do like to say, "Oh, JavaScript," because they go, "Oh, me too." I was like, "Really? In 1994?" They're like, "What? No, it was 2024. That's not the same language, is it?" Yeah, how about that technology? It goes across. Anyway, sorry, a trip down memory lane for us both, right?
Yeah.
Technology is...
Technology. Like, it ebbs and flows, but there's like so many things that we can do together as a queer community. Let's just be kinder to each other, or you know what? We are all terrified. Every single one of
Oh
us.
my gosh. Yes.
And,
Yeah.
let's, we are not going to bow down. The more we stand up and fight, the better we are. And we have so many allies out there. If you are an ally, thank you. Thank you for showing up
Truth.
every single day for us, because we are terrified.
Yeah. Yes, we are. I think after listening to all of this, I know that there are people who are going to want to engage more. So, I mean, how do we find Gretchen Schoser on the internet?
There's two places. If you want to learn more about the podcast, you can go out to goesoninourheads.net. And if you want to learn about me, more about me and my company, you can go out to schosersolutions.com. I am on Instagram. All my socials are between each of the pages. I'm heavily on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
If somebody wants to jump on a call with me, I can, just DM me in either place, and I will be more than happy to jump on a call.
Cool. Super cool. When I wrote down notes, I didn't put the podcast website on here.
You want me to put it down? I'll put it.
No, I will. I'm going to. But I was like, you said that, and I'm like, how did I not put the the podcast in there?
It's all good.
So Facebook, you don't use the Facebook one much?
No, Facebook is where I catch up with my friends.
Right.
I don't get as much engagement from Facebook as I do from Instagram and LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because it's funny. Instagram is that one thing. Like, you don't go to Instagram. You go to Facebook, like you said, to catch up with your friends. You're going to Instagram because you're like, ooh, I want a quick laugh or something. Like, oh, look, I can't come up with a comedian now, but
It's called raccoons. Okay, like if you want to laugh, just go watch baby raccoons. They're like,
oh, yes,
they're little porch bandits, but they're cute as hell.
I love those videos have you seen the videos and then they dub them, right? So now you've got like raccoons like stealing food or something from cats, right? And the cat's like, what the hell? But then you put dubbing over that and it's even funnier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the both of us, I suppose.
You know what? I am totally into just watching animal videos. I start my days ever since I opened my business, every day I start with 20 minutes of a really funny video.
Oh, that's great.
And then the last thing I do before I come down to my office is say out loud what I'm grateful for.
Oh yeah, great gratitude practice, right?
Gratitude.
Let's go.
You do it for 30 days, it becomes practice. It becomes like you don't even think about it. And I might say it twice. Like every day, I will say I'm thankful to be alive. I'm so grateful. But I'm grateful for so many other things in this beautiful world. And and in Pride Month, let's just keep showing up, people. Keep showing up.
Yeah. Yep.
Loud and proud.
There's a lot to be grateful for, and it's easy to lose track of it, right? Because maybe you lose track of your friends or even, whatever it is. Funny videos, I don't even get raccoon videos, right? Baby raccoons. It's easy to lose track of it, and we put ourselves in danger when we lose track of those. So I will say I'm great. I am grateful for you, Gretchen, for doing all the work that you're doing.
And I'm grateful for you too. I'm telling you, we're out there changing the world, and I'm probably the nicest person that you guys will ever meet. I have learned to put up my shields, so like the empathic part of me, it doesn't get hurt as much anymore. But you know what? Let's just keep doing this work. Let's keep showing up. Let's change the world one conversation at a time. Right.
It's funny, we didn't actually, we're almost at the end, and it's like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about other people that much. But I your points about community, where we really need we need to maintain our sense of community, I think, to my mind, is actually the bigger point. It's great if other people stand up for us. I think it's better when we all stand up and go, no, We're not going to let somebody else stand up for us anymore. It's us. Let's do this. So,
this is my party. Do not pop all my balloons, okay?
Right. Pop all of my balloons. There's a funny video in there somewhere, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Get a bunch of baby raccoons, room full of balloons. No?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We could that would be fun. And have glitter in them, so when they pop them, they're all covered with glitter.
Yes, like pink glitter or something. Is pink okay? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Can I be?
pink,
Okay.
Yeah, it can, because that shit never comes out.
No. You'll have baby raccoons who have like grandchildren. The grandchildren are like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why am I pink? Why am I... Hang on a second. I got to go steal food from the cats.
Because they've transitioned now. So you know what? It's all good.
Yes.
And this was
Awesome.
this was such an awesome conversation.
Thank you.
It was so perfect.
I told you it was going to go in weird, like, who thinks of pink glitter raccoons? That doesn't that has to grow out of something weird. Okay, there you go.
I'm going to go do a video on that right now. I'm going to send it to you.
Right? We didn't do song lyrics. I thought we were going to do song lyrics. Do you want to? What's a good? Shoot, I can't just pull one out on demand. That didn't sound good either. But
oh, I got it. The world.
Okay, go ahead.
The end of the world as we know it.
Oh gosh, it's the end of the world as we know it.
But you know what? We have the ability to change that.
Oh my gosh, we do.
Stand up and fight. Fight
Yes,
for your
sure.
rights. Fight for your mental health. Fight
Yes.
for your friends. And if you're an ally, as I said before, thank you.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I was trying to make it sound like we the community needs each other more than allies. There's typically more allies than community, so thank you definitely to the allies. I'm a little bummed. We're like running out of time, and I kind of don't. Like, I think, we're going to hang up. We're going to end up talking for a long time afterward. But, I mean, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to you, Gretchen. I mean, for the work that you do, for coming on and talking with me. Thank you so much, because it's all critical work. So thank you for that. I guess I can do my little shutdown now. See, like, you can see I'm dragging my feet.
You know what I was thinking, though? Maybe
Go ahead.
maybe like in a couple of days or something, we could record another episode. We could make it like a
if you're up for
continuation.
it.
Because I have plans at 2:30, but I have to leave here in like 15 minutes. But
Right.
whatever. But I would love to record with you again.
Oh, that'd be awesome. No, I'd love to. All right. Well, let me do this outro. I love to use one of your like a quote when I'm doing this at the end thing, and you used you didn't put it in quite this format. I paraphrased it a titch, but so here's my little outro. I'm not going to tell you what it is until it comes out.
All right.
Here you go. All right. So anyway, my name is Amethyst Herrick. I've been talking with Gretchen Schoser on the Purplepaw. The Purplepaw. Thank you to all of our listeners, everybody listening, everybody watching. We have been talking about mental health, preventing burnout, and also unlocking others' prisons through sharing our own stories. I got that from you. That was beautiful. Okay. I loved it. I love that. Sharing our stories unlocks other people's prisons, is how you put it. Thought it was beautiful. So thank you again, Gretchen.
You're so welcome. I loved this conversation. Loved it.
Good. Oh, gosh, look at that.
Hearts. Every time it does that, I'm still trying to figure out how that happens.
I'm so glad we caught that on video. That was great. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.